For a long time, Google Chrome looked untouchable. User after user kept pouring in, and every competitor that tried to fight back, even those waving the flag of privacy and an ad-free experience, ended up falling short.
So break free with the new Opera GX, a browser that puts you.
But now, Chrome is up against something else. Not a rival company, not a competitor browser. It's coming from inside Google, and it might be the moment everything starts to fall apart. Well, the golden era of Chrome appears to be fading. For years, the danger sounded far away, almost imaginary. Today, it's here, solid and unavoidable, and plenty of people pretended it wasn't coming. And while it may be too early to say Chrome is going to die, it's fair to say that starting in 2026, it will slowly begin losing ground in the browser market. Interestingly, over the years we saw better browsers show up, more private, more ethical, more respectful, but in the end, none of them could really stand up to Google's support as a company. At this point, it's obvious the competitors out there aren't going to end Chrome's monopoly. The real danger for Google Chrome isn't coming from outside. Here's the twist. The blow isn't coming from a rival. It's coming from inside Google, from a browser built to take its spot. This project is called Disco, and Google has already published a promotional video on its official YouTube channel. Disco was revealed near the end of 2025, but it's not dropping overnight. The plan is to expand it little by little through 2026. For now, only Mac users get access to the test version. And with that, two troubling questions immediately appear. The first question seems obvious. Why release a new browser when Chrome already rules the market? And the second one, well, that one's even more uncomfortable. Why doesn't Google just focus on making Chrome better? To get why they went this route, we have to take a step back. Today, Chrome rules the browser market without anyone really challenging it. Sure, Firefox, Opera, Brave, Safari, Vivaldi, and Edge exist, but they're basically playing second fiddle. I'm not saying they're bad, it's just that their slice of the market isn't enough to threaten Chrome's monopoly. Each of the browsers I just mentioned belongs to a single chapter in history, the first generation of browsers. These browsers may be technically better than Chrome in many ways, but when it comes to market dominance, they still don't come close to threatening Google Chrome. However, we're starting to see new browsers pop up that, unlike the old ones, could really challenge Chrome's grip on the market. Starting in 2025, we saw a second generation of browsers emerge, what people are calling Agentic browsers. While these browsers retain all the traditional features, they bring something new, artificial intelligence that transforms them into more than just a standard browser. Alright, let's check out what an Agentic or second generation browser could actually do. Imagine a browser that doesn't just display pages, it reads them, interacts with them, and decides the best way to respond. That's what an agentic browser does. For example, I'm asking this browser to analyze my secondary YouTube channel and suggest ways to get more views. After roughly 2 minutes, it spits out a complete, detailed analysis, something that normally would take me half an hour or more. Basically, with a regular browser, you do everything yourself. With an agentic browser, it handles some of the boring, repetitive stuff for you. It's clear that an agentic browser functions with more autonomy, as demonstrated in the example we just went through. This is a huge leap, and Google was letting it pass. Other companies have actually been working on this since the start of 2025. These days, we're seeing new browsers popping up. Some are still in testing, while others are more developed, like Atlas from ChatGPT, Comet from Perplexity, Day by the browser company, Neon from Opera, and Google's new Disco, which is just getting its trial phase underway. Like I said, Google got into agentic browsers late, and chances are the second-gen browsers that came first already have a real advantage, one that could make Google lose its grip on the market over time. Although these second-generation browsers bring improvements over Chrome, none of them currently pose a real threat to the dominance that Chrome enjoys in the browser market. However, this is expected to shift in the near future. Well, to answer the first question, Google's new browser isn't part of the Chrome team. It's a separate project connected to Gemini, their AI platform. That's why it's a completely new browser. Here's the real question. Is it easier to create a browser using an AI agent like Gemini, or to stuff AI into a browser that already exists, like Chrome? So apparently, it's just simpler to make a browser from scratch that's designed to work with an AI agent that already exists. That's why Chrome, according to forums, will never have AI built into its core, only as extensions like today. That means Chrome stays a first-generation browser. Someday it could become obsolete, and then, yeah, that could be the real end of Google Chrome. To answer the second question of why Google doesn't simply enhance Chrome despite its market dominance, we have to consider the example of Internet Explorer and Microsoft Edge. Everyone remembers what many call the worst browser in history, Internet Explorer. And believe it or not, it once ruled the market even more than Chrome does now. At its best moment, Internet Explorer controlled almost 90% of the market, and people still couldn't stand it. So Microsoft had to step in, polish the browser, and release more modern updates, all the way up to Internet Explorer 11. But in the end, it just didn't work out. By then, people already thought Internet Explorer was a bad product. So Microsoft reached a point where it felt Internet Explorer just wasn't worth showing anymore, and it replaced it with Microsoft Edge.
Meet Microsoft Edge, your new go-to browser for work.
Microsoft Edge came in as a fresh, modern browser, without the baggage Internet Explorer had built over the years. People on forums are already saying Chrome could end up the same way, slowly getting replaced by Disco in the coming years. Honestly, it wouldn't be weird at all. These days, a lot of people see Chrome as one of the worst browsers out there. A long time ago, Chrome stopped feeling like a browser for us and started looking more like a machine built to gather our data. So it makes total sense for Google to build something new, something without Chrome's reputation, something fresh and that looks like Disco. And honestly, if it does happen, I'd be pretty happy to see it.